What's going on, YouTube? Today we're going to be showing a case that we showed in the last video by ESR, and we're going to be rocking that case today and give it a more in-depth review than we just did a cameo last week. But last week we did cover the UAG case. It's a nice case. I'm enjoying it. I'm rocking it. And but today we're going to be talking about this case in particular. As I said, it's the ESR case. So get ready. This is the ESR case made specifically with the kickstand. One of the ones that first ones, as I mentioned in my last video, but that I've had with the kickstand. Now, with that said, I'm enjoying it quite a bit. People will ask quite frequently. I get emails. Well, what case do you use? But I would more specifically point to what cases do I use. Now, you may have noticed already, I do use this lanyard support system here. This is pre-drilled here. This lanyard is made by Rinke. It's cloth. Some of them aren't. They are this metal piece. You can get them on Amazon. They have the little cord on here. You just thread it through the hole. It's as simple as that. That goes on your finger. I don't even notice it. It's just so simple. I take it out of a case, a leather case that I carry, which this is a gauze case. If any of you are wondering, I've used one of these for many years. Used it on my Note 10 as well, and goes around your belt. And it's easy to carry the phone. I don't ever carry it in my pocket ever since my Note 7. When I put it in my rear pocket and sat down, as I see everybody do it, talk about people who do it, and it bent. So I don't do that anymore. Lesson learned. So it goes in one of these, and I'm pretty sure they're still in business. You can find them on Amazon as well. But more specifically, we're getting back to this ESR case. We'll put it on the phone in just a moment. But what I'd like to do right now is to just show the many positions this has. Now, this doesn't ever get in the way. I just set it aside. But you can clearly see if you're watching a movie on YouTube, whatever, on your phone, you've got easy access. You can prop it up a little bit more or whatever, or in fact, turn it around this way. You have that kind of support there. Camera's facing this way. One thing that I would suggest on this particular type of case is, because it is a little top heavy, and this goes here. Yep, you can stand it up like that. It's great, but keep in mind, you put a little bit of weight like that phone inside that case, and we're demonstrating without the case. Excuse me, without the phone. It is very topsy-turvy. It will just topple over like such. So you can do it, but bear in mind that it shouldn't be, the table shouldn't be rattled or moved in any fashion, because you're going to knock the phone over. Here we have the phone inside of the case, and as I demonstrated last video here, it has something called camera guard here, which just actually forms this P section here, which I'm not fond of here. The ESR case did give individual protection around the lenses somewhat here, and then recessed it down. These are more level here. Now, as I talked about in the last video, I did have a ESR lens protectors on there, but I took them off. They're not necessary, I don't think, with the UAG case. Now, this particular case, I have to admit, it feels sleeker in the hand. We're rocking this case here. I use this quite often when I don't use my UAG case, which is most of the time, but it just feels better in the hand. What I like about these cases is that people complain about the squareness of these Note 10 devices, and also the S22, which people call a Note. digging into their hand. This one here it's a little sleeker. It's a little more rounded here than the UAG. You can see right here what I'm talking about. On the other hand, the UAG, I think, offers more drop protection. And I mean, it's a trade-off between the two cases. Which one do you want? Now, this one here, you will be able to see your color. This one here happens to be the burgundy color. Now, I'm fond of this color. I really love it. But again, the buttons are tactile. They're easy to operate. They're not difficult to press at all. They go inside of this case I was demonstrating earlier, much easier. This goes right through one of the little holes in the bottom of the case as such. Goes inside. I pulled this right out here, and there it is. But I'm happy with the change in the case, and the fact that it's got everything that you need in terms of comfort level. So I mean, it's people find that they don't like these particular types of cases because it blocks the color, which is true. And I don't call it a phenomenon. People will often buy a white phone or a burgundy one or green, whatever color you choose, and then promptly cover it up with a case that doesn't show any kind of color at all. So really, the color's a little insignificant. Now, with that said, here you can show the color. To me, I go by what I'm going to do that day. If I'm out shooting a lot of photos, simply that goes on that finger. I don't even know it's there. It's not in the way. It wraps around here. It goes around here like this, and it's out of sight, out of mind. If I drop it, it's not going to go anywhere. So it's just at least not far. Now, I will say that there was one in particular. There was an incident I had where, I mean, the reason why I'm bringing this up is because I got a few emails, more than a few, probably 15 or 20 emails talking about what kind of protector do I have, screen protector here. And this is a AM film. It's the liquid with a UV light, and yes, it's a daunting task to put them on, but I'm going to give you a little example here. As I say, I carry this with that on there all the time when it's out of this case here. But one in particular, I was pulled up into a parking lot, and I did have this phone inside the case, and it was well protected in here. It was on my belt, and for some reason the seatbelt had knocked this out of here, or I didn't have it in there good, and it was an older case, but it had knocked that off. This came off into my lap. Didn't know it. When I unbuttoned the seatbelt, this slid across my lap, out the door, and onto the asphalt face down. Now, that said, without one of these spring protectors on here, screen protectors, excuse me, that would have been a really devastating blow to this screen. I probably would have had to either put up with the scratches or replace it. As it was, there was a scratch, several scratches here on this corner, and all I had to do was just replace the screen eventually. The screen protector, which went on easily. So I'm a avid proponent of these. I believe in them. I think they are expensive. I think $49, $45, $50. But you know, if the phone means anything to you, I would definitely look into one. Okay, and one, I guess, final thing here is I need to talk about here is the S Pen. The speaker and the connector here is all, you know, fine. The S Pen comes out, removes fine. So with that, there's no problem with any of the S Pens. The speakers are fine. One last thing I will have to bring to the attention of this phone case here. The UAG case here offers, it just seems like it just feels a little more comfortable in the hand to hold like this, but I'm a little nervous about dropping it because of that. I mean, people, when you shoot, video, how do most people do it? With the ends of their fingers as such. So, I mean, with this uh, lanyard on here like this, you're less likely to drop it. Now, a lot of people say, well, you can't turn it around and operate your camera controls because your hand doesn't go that way. Well, that's fine. I run an extension on this here. It gives me about another, I would say another 3 inches, so I can comfortably move the phone around 360 degrees, and I can just shoot anything I want. But a lot of times, if I'm out doing videos, that's what I do. I put the extender on there if I know I'm going to be shooting videos. If not, it still isn't a burden anyway. And so I hope that addresses some of the questions that I got out there about that. Not everybody likes these lanyards. I can understand. They think they're in the way, but they really aren't. There was no break-in period. I didn't have to get used to it. It's just second nature. I pull it out and put it on. Okay. So thanks for the questions, though. I certainly appreciate that. And if you haven't already, please like and subscribe. I would certainly appreciate it.